I want to start today with a question that I think probably haunts, well, pretty much everyone at some point.
Okay, I'm listening.
It's that moment when you're looking at your life, maybe it's your bank account balance, or maybe it's the fact that you're single again for the third time in 2 years.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
Or it's just the chaos on your desk,
Yeah.
and you get this sinking feeling, this deja vu.
Right.
And you just think, why does this keep happening to me?
It's the loop. It really is. It's that feeling of running into the exact same wall just on a different day.
Yeah. Mhm.
You change jobs because your boss was a micromanager, and then, 6 months later, your new boss is the same.
A micromanager too.
Yeah.
Or you start a new relationship, you're determined to communicate better. And 3 months in, you're having the exact same argument you had with your ex. It's maddening.
It is.
And it feels like bad luck, right? Or feels like the universe has a personal...
It's vendetta against you.
Exactly, personal vendetta. You're just unlucky in love.
Yeah.
Or unlucky with money.
But today, we're diving into a text from 1919 that says, no.
It's not luck.
Not luck. It's not a vendetta. It is a machine.
We are back with Ernest Holmes and his book, Creative Mind and Success.
And today we were tackling, maybe the most famous, but also the most misunderstood concept in his entire philosophy.
The law of cause and effect.
That's the one.
And I want to be really clear right off the bat. This isn't just some abstract philosophy. We're not just talking about karma in a vague sense.
No, this is about the mechanics, the nuts and bolts of why we get stuck.
Holmes makes an incredibly bold claim. He says, nothing happens by chance. He argues that everything you see in your life, the visible stuff, is just an effect of something invisible.
And that can be a really tough pill to swallow because, if I'm being honest, when things go wrong, my first instinct is to blame the economy.
Right. Or my boss.
Or blame my boss, or just bad timing. Holmes is saying, no, stop. We have to stop looking at the effect, the problem, and start looking at the cause.
The pattern inside of us.
Precisely.
So here's the roadmap for this conversation today. Our mission is to shift from fixing problems, which is just exhausting.
It is. It's a full-time job.
To changing patterns, which is permanent. So we're going to cover three main things. First, we need the modern, non-mystical definition of cause and effect. We've got to strip away the woo-woo.
I like that, yes. Second, we are going to look at the trap that almost everyone falls into. We're calling it outcome chasing.
Outcome chasing.
This is the reason why your New Year's resolutions usually fail by, February?
If that. And third, we're going to do a specific mental drill called the Cause Audit.
Yeah, this is a tool you can use today to actually locate the invisible cause of a visible problem.
Okay, let's get into it.
If this episode helps you, please hit like and subscribe for the next one.
All right, so the definition. Cause and effect. We hear this phrase all the time, but how does Holmes define it? Because when I hear cause, I think of physics,
Yeah.
I push a ball, it rolls.
And that's exactly how he wants you to think about it. It
Yeah.
is physics, but he applies it to the mind. He says, very simply, conditions are always effect. Mind is cause.
Conditions are effect. So let's break that down.
Right.
My job is a condition.
Yes.
The number on my scale,
Also a condition.
my relationship status.
A condition. Holmes argues that all these things, the physical realities of your life, they're results.
The exhaust fumes coming out of the engine.
That's a great way to put it. They are not the engine itself. And this leads to his most, I think, provocative statement.
Which is?
We are always getting what we believe, but not always what we want.
Oof. That hits hard. Not always what we want.
Right.
Because nobody wants to be in debt. Nobody wants to be lonely.
Yeah.
So how can he say we're causing that?
And this is where we have to bring in modern science to kind of back up this 1919 philosophy. Think about habit formation. Think about what neuroscientists call neural highways. Your brain is an efficiency machine.
It runs on loops.
It runs on loops. You have subconscious assumptions that drive your behavior before you even realize you've made a choice. And Holmes uses a metaphor that I think is the absolute best way to understand this. He calls it the mirror.
The mirror analogy. Okay, walk me through it.
Imagine you wake up tomorrow morning. You walk into the bathroom. You look in the mirror. And you see a big smudge of black dirt on your cheek in the reflection.
Okay.
Logic dictates, what do?
I reach up to my actual face and I wipe the dirt off my cheek.
Right. You touch the cause, your face, and instantly the reflection, the effect, is clean. That's physics.
Simple enough.
But here's the problem. In our actual lives, we don't do that.
What do we do?
We look in the mirror, we see the smudge. Maybe the smudge is a lack of money. And we grab a towel and we start scrubbing the mirror.
We're scrubbing the glass.
We're scrubbing it furiously. We're yelling at the mirror, why is this dirt here? I'm a good person. I work hard. Why does the mirror show dirt?
We might even try to paint over the mirror. Try to manipulate the reflection directly.
I feel seen. I've done this.
Oh, this is exactly what I do. If I feel like I'm not fit enough, I start a crash diet. I attack the body, the mirror, without changing the mindset that makes me overeat in the first place.
Exactly. And Holmes puts it this way. You cannot comb the hair of the reflection in the mirror.
It's impossible.
Impossible. As long as the dirt is on your face, the reflection must show dirt. You can move the mirror to a new room. You can buy a more expensive mirror.
But the reflection will be the same.
It has to be.
So cause and effect, then, it isn't about blaming the victim. It's not saying you're a bad person for having dirt on your face.
No, and that is such a crucial distinction. This is not about moral blame. It's about mechanical leverage.
Mechanical leverage, I like that.
If you think the dirt is on the mirror, you're powerless. You can scrub forever and nothing changes. That's victimhood.
Right.
But if you realize the dirt is on your face, suddenly you have power.
You're the architect.
You're the architect. You can wipe it off.
That shifts it from, it's my fault, to it's my responsibility.
Precisely. And that brings us to the biggest mistake people make, the trap we mentioned earlier, what we're calling outcome chasing.
Outcome chasing. So this is the act of scrubbing the mirror.
It is trying to manipulate the external condition without changing the internal belief or habit. Holmes has a line that it summarizes this perfectly. He says, water will reach only its own level.
Okay, break that down for me.
Think of a water tank. The water sits at a certain level. You can splash it, you can stir it up, you can try to force it up the sides with your hands.
But it always settles.
The moment you stop struggling, it settles right back to where it was.
So the level is my internal set point, my belief system.
Yes. If you don't change the container, the mind, the consciousness, the condition will always settle back to its original level.
Okay, let's look at this in the real world, because I think we see this water level problem everywhere.
Absolutely. The most common one is what I call the geographical cure.
Oh, I have done this. If I just moved to New York, or if I just moved to LA, I'll be a different person.
I'll be more outgoing. I'll be more successful.
Right.
So you pack the boxes. You hire the movers. You spend thousands of dollars. You get to the new apartment in the new, cool city.
And for 2 weeks, the adrenaline carries you. It feels new.
But then, on a Tuesday night, you're sitting on the couch.
And you feel the exact same loneliness you felt in the old apartment.
Because you packed your bags, but you also packed your sense of separation, as Holmes calls it. The cause traveled with you.
You move the mirror, but the face looking into it is the same.
The water settled back to its level.
Another big one is financial. We see this with lottery winners all the time.
Mm-hmm.
The statistics are.
Mm-hmm.
They're just crazy. Most of them go broke within a few years.
It is the classic example of outcome chasing. Holmes talks about money consciousness.
Yeah.
If your internal setting, your cause is, I'm someone who struggles to get by, and you suddenly get $10 million, there's a conflict.
Yeah.
The water is suddenly way above the rim of the tank.
So the subconscious mind goes, whoa, this isn't right. This doesn't match the blueprint.
And the subconscious will work to correct the error. You'll make bad investments. You'll give it away to people who don't appreciate it. You'll overspend.
You'll subconsciously sabotage yourself until your bank account matches your belief again.
Exactly. And you see this in careers, too. You get a raise, but your spending rises instantly to match it. And you end up with the exact same amount of anxiety and debt.
The condition changed, but the pattern didn't.
The water found its level.
And the third one, which is maybe the most painful, is health or diet. The yo-yo diet.
This is pure outcome chasing. You force the body, the effect to change through sheer willpower.
You white-knuckle it.
You starve yourself. You go to the gym every single day for January.
But you haven't changed the identity.
Right. You still see yourself as the person who needs a treat to cope with stress. You still view exercise as a punishment.
So eventually, the willpower runs out.
Because willpower is a limited resource. And the cause kicks back in, the weight returns. You stopped scrubbing the mirror, and the reflection went back to normal.
Okay, I am sold on the problem. I am tired of scrubbing the mirror.
You too.
But how do we actually change the face? And we need to get in the mechanics here. How does an invisible thought actually become a concrete wall in my life?
We have to slow this down. Holmes implies a specific chain reaction. I like to call it the cause chain.
Okay.
It usually goes like this. Assumption. that leads to an emotion, which leads to a choice or a habit, which leads to a result.
Assumption, emotion, habit, result.
Let's walk through a real-life scenario to see how this actually works. Let's take a work situation. Let's say the wall you keep hitting is that you feel undervalued and ignored at work.
Okay, so I'm at my desk. I'm feeling resentful because nobody listens to my ideas. That's the result.
Now, we trace the chain backwards. Before the result, there was a habit or a choice. How do you act in meetings?
Well, if I feel ignored, I probably stay quiet. Or maybe I speak up, but I do it with a really defensive tone. Or I procrastinate on my projects because, why bother?
Okay, so the habit is withdrawal or defensiveness. Now, go back one more link. What emotion drives that withdrawal?
Fear. Maybe anxiety. A feeling of, I don't belong here.
Right. Now, here's the critical step. Where does that fear come from? It comes from the assumption.
This is the deep subconscious stuff.
Deep in the subconscious. It's the premise you hold about reality. Holmes says, thinking back over the reason for things, you gave it entrance to your mind. What is the silent assumption?
Maybe the assumption is, I'm not smart enough. Or maybe authority figures are dangerous.
Bingo. Let's say the assumption is conflict is dangerous. That sits in your basement. You don't even know it's there. But then your boss sends you a vague email. See me.
Instant panic.
The assumption conflict is dangerous immediately triggers the emotion of panic. You didn't choose the panic. It was a chemical reaction to the assumption.
And from the panic, I make the choice to avoid eye contact or to go into that meeting acting weird and defensive.
And because you act defensive, your boss thinks you're being difficult. They don't promote you. You feel undervalued.
And you look at the result and say, see? I knew work was dangerous.
The loop is closed.
That is terrifyingly accurate. And the expert insight here is that most of us try to break the chain at the end. We try to fix the result.
All the time.
We say, I need a new boss.
Yeah.
But we take the assumption conflict is dangerous with us to the new job.
Exactly. To change the effect, we have to go all the way back to the assumption. We have to change the software code, not just the printout.
So let's look at how we actually do that. I want to look at 3 specific examples using Holmes' principles, but applying them to modern life.
Okay.
Let's stick with work for a second. Holmes has a concept for the person who is stuck in that work loop. He calls them the leaner.
The leaner. It sounds a bit harsh, doesn't it?
It does. It sounds like he's calling me lazy.
He's not calling you lazy. He's describing your center of gravity. A leaner is someone who is leaning against the company or the economy, waiting for it to hold them up. They're waiting for the external world to provide security.
So I'll feel secure when I get the promotion.
Right. You are asking the mirror to smile first. Holmes says the shift, the cause change, is self-recognition. Yeah. It's realizing you are a free agent. You are the motive power of your own career.
So the new assumption is, I am not here to receive security. I am here to create value.
Yes. Think about the energy shift in that. If you walk into work believing, I am the architect of my career, your posture changes. Your tone in meetings changes from defensive to collaborative. You stop leaning and you start driving, and eventually it's just physics. The mirror has no choice but to reflect that.
Okay, let's pivot to relationships. This is a huge one. Holmes has a quote that I found really confusing at first.
Which one?
He says, the thing to do is not to try to unify with people, but with the principle of life.
I know it sounds so abstract, unify with the principle, but it's actually incredibly practical advice for dating.
How so?
Unifying with people is outcome chasing. It is that desperate energy of, please like me, please text me back, why didn't they call?
It's trying to force a connection from the outside in.
It's scrubbing the mirror frantically. Look at me, validate me.
And we all know that energy repels people. Neediness is the ultimate repellent.
Exactly. Unifying with the principle of life means cultivating the feeling of connection, love, and worthiness within yourself first.
Okay.
It means enjoying your own company. It means feeling whole without the text message.
So you become the source of the love you want.
Exactly. When you are full of that sense of connection, you become magnetic. You stop chasing. And because water finds its own level, people who match that level of self-worth will naturally appear.
I love that. Stop trying to force the connection externally and build the capacity for connection internally.
Now, the third example is about habits and lifestyle. And Holmes gives the most practical, almost funny advice here.
What's that?
He says, if you are stuck in a mental rut, change the bed around. Put the cook stove in the parlor.
Put the stove in a parlor. If I do that, I think I lose my security deposit.
It's a metaphor. Well, mostly, he's saying, physically disrupt your environment.
Ah.
We know from modern behavioral psychology that our environment triggers our habits. If you sit in the same chair at the same time, looking at the same wall, you will think the same thoughts.
So the cause is reinforced by the room.
Yes. So, move the bed, drive a different route to work, eat dinner on the back step. Holmes says it will start something moving and changing in you that will never stop.
You're signaling to your brain, shocking your brain into realizing that the cause is change. You're breaking the autopilot.
That's it.
Okay, I want to make this actionable. We've talked about the theory. We've talked about the chain. Now, I want you, the listener, to actually do this. We call this the cause audit.
This is a mental drill. You can do it right now while you're listening. It has 4 steps.
Step 1, name the outcome.
Look at the mirror. What is the smudge? Identify the one thing that keeps repeating. And be specific. Don't just say, my life is hard.
No.
Say, I always run out of money by the 25th of the month.
Yeah.
Or I always attract partners who refuse to commit. What is the effect?
Okay, I've got mine. Step 2, list the repeated causes.
Now look at the face, not the mirror. Trace the chain backward. What are the inputs? Are you doom scrolling news every morning, priming your brain for fear? What are the habits? Do you impulse buy when you're stressed? And most importantly, dig for the assumption. Is it, I'll never get ahead? Is it, I'm not worth committing to?
This part is uncomfortable. It requires being really honest about your own role in this.
It has to be uncomfortable. If it's not uncomfortable, you're probably not digging deep enough.
Okay, so I've got the effect, and I've dug up the nasty root causes. Step 3.
Choose one cause to change. This is critical. Do not try to fix your entire life today. That's a recipe for failure.
Right.
Pick one input to cut or one belief to flip.
Just one. And finally, step 4. Choose one small action.
Holmes says, do something different. And habit science calls this atomic habits or marginal gains. Commit to one tiny physical change today to prove to yourself that you are the architect.
So if my issue is money, maybe the action isn't become a millionaire. Maybe it's check my bank balance every morning at 9 a.m.
Perfect. That simple action breaks the habit of avoidance. It changes the anxiety loop.
Right.
If it's relationships, maybe the action is delete the number of that ex who treats you poorly, or go to a movie by yourself and enjoy it.
One small action anchors the new belief.
I love that phrase. Action anchors belief. Yes.
Now, before we wrap up, we have to talk about the pitfalls. Because when people start doing this, messing with their cause and their subconscious things can get messy.
There are 5 big mistakes people make when applying the law of cause and effect.
Mistake number 1.
Wait.
Blame. We touched on this, but let's hit it again.
People hear mind is cause and they just spiral. They think, oh, so it's my fault that I got sick. It's my fault I got laid off.
And that guilt is paralyzing.
So it's the wrong way to look at it. Gravity isn't punishing you when you fall. It's just a law.
Right.
Cause and effect is just mechanics. It's not about guilt. It's about diagnosis. If your car won't start, you don't feel guilty. You just open the hood to see which wire is loose.
Treat your mind the same way.
If you know the mechanic, you can fix the engine. Don't waste energy on guilt.
Okay, mistake number 2. Magical thinking.
This is the wish and wait trap. This is the danger of some law of attraction teaching. People think, oh, I'll just visualize a check in the mail, and then I'll sit on the couch. Holmes is very, very clear. This requires action. You have to walk the path you visualize. The belief prepares the way, but your feet have to walk it.
Okay. Mistake number 3. Impatience.
Habit science tells us it takes an average of 66 days to form a new behavior automaticity. Not 21 days, 66.
But we try for 3 days, the mirror doesn't change, and we say, this doesn't work.
Of course. Holmes reminds us that nature will not let us stay in any one place. Change is inevitable, but you have to persist past the lag time.
The lag time.
There is always a lag between changing the face and the reflection updating, especially if the reflection is something heavy like a career or a marriage.
Mistake number 4. Changing the mirror.
We keep going back to this because it is the default human setting.
It is.
Stop fighting the condition. Ignore the condition for a moment. If you are in debt, stop obsessing over the lack. Focus on the strategy. Focus on the value you can create.
And finally, mistake number 5. Ignoring the small causes.
A stray thought. We think, oh, it's just one negative thought, it doesn't matter. But Holmes says repetition creates reality. 1,000 small negative thoughts create a massive negative result. You have to guard the gate of your mind.
It's the small drips that fill the bucket.
Exactly.
Okay, let's bring this all home. We've covered a lot of ground today. Let's recap the 7 key takeaways from this whole idea of cause and effect.
Let's do it. Number 1, conditions are effects. Mind is cause. Don't confuse the two.
Number 2, stop outcome chasing. Start cause changing.
Number 3, remember the chain. Assumption leads to emotion, which leads to habit, which leads to result.
Number 4, you are the architect, not the victim. The mirror just reflects what you give it.
Number 5, small changes in cause lead to big changes in effect.
Number 6, action is required. Move the bed if you have to.
And number 7, persistence breaks the loop. Give it time.
This is really powerful stuff. But I feel like there's a missing piece.
Oh.
We talk about action and persistence, but how do you actually keep going when the world hasn't caught up yet? When you're doing the work, you're changing the cause, but the mirror is still showing the old reflection.
That requires a specific mental muscle. Holmes calls it persistent expectancy.
Persistent expectancy.
It's not just hope, it's a form of active faith.
And that is exactly what we're going to cover in the next conversation. Number 9, faith in action. We're going to talk about how to hold the vision when the reality looks opposite.
It's the fuel that keeps the cause engine running. You won't want to miss it.
Thanks for being here. If you want the full series, check the playlist, and please like and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode.